Hey Mom, are you up already? I just wanted to say that I really wish that you and Dad would stop fighting all the time. Did you know that Jenny had to come into my room and sleep in my bed because she was so upset?
Oh no. Did you hear us talking last night? I'm so sorry about that, Sarah. I guess we just got a little more loud than we thought. We didn't mean to wake either of you.
Well, I know that you two have been trying to hide it for a while now. But I know for several nights now you and Dad have been fighting non-stop.
Well, I won't lie to you. You're not wrong about that.
At least I feel like I can handle it, but I feel so bad for Jenny. She's just so young and she doesn't understand, and she was crying all night.
I know that it's really hard on you two, but I'm just afraid that there's nothing to really be done about it. Although, since you're in high school, I'm sure that you have a much better idea about what's actually going on than your sister does. But I just think you should know that I'm thinking of leaving your father.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that things were heading that direction.
I really am sorry that you've had to deal with us fighting so much, though. We really did try to make this work. I didn't think we'd end up here.
Well, if it's really what you want to do now, then I don't suppose there's any point in fighting it. But I just wonder about what's going to happen to us.
Well, what would you like to happen? I mean, do you have a preference for who you'd rather live with?
I'm sorry, Mom. I don't think that I can answer that right now. I need more time to think on it.
Of course, dear. Well, I'll talk to your father about this, and in the meantime, you should really think about what I asked you. After all, you're going to be starting college soon, and a lot more is going to be changing for you. So maybe it would just be easier if I took Jenny and left.
Hold on a second. You mean that I wouldn't be living with my own sister? I would only be living with Dad, and you would take Jenny and just go? That's not what I want to happen at all!
Oh, I know that it's tough right now, but you need to remember that your sister is only 9 years old. I really think she still needs her mother. But you're much older and more mature, so I think that it would be okay if you stayed with your father, don't you?
I don't know. It's just... Well, I'm not really sure about that.
And just what part of this aren't you sure about, dear?
Well, it's just that... Are you really sure that you're going to be able to take care of Jenny all by yourself?
And just what is that supposed to mean, Sarah?
I'm just saying that you've always been a housewife and you've never had a job. So what's going to happen when Jenny grows up? What if she wants to go to college? How are you going to save up for her? At least Dad has more means.
Are you trying to make me feel bad for this? You really don't think that I'll be able to take care of one measly little girl?
I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything like that at all, I promise. It's just that she's my little sister, and I want to make sure that she's taken care of well. I mean, at least if we were together, it wouldn't just be one parent. I could watch Jenny too.
You know, your father said the exact same thing to me. But I am not going to just stand here and take an insult like that. If you think that I'm going to hand over Jenny, you're wrong. She's my daughter, and no one else is going to have her. I am going to raise her, got it?
But aren't you worried about what effect that might actually have on her? I just don't actually know if you have the means to be able to raise a child on your own. I know that you love Jenny, but I do too, and that's why I'm saying this.
And just what would a high school girl like you know about working or raising a kid, huh? You think you know better than me?
I'm not saying that I know better than you. I know that I'm just in high school. But I'm not just worried for Jenny. I'm saying all of this for your sake as well.
I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to kick me out of the family. You don't want me to have anyone left, do you? Well, that's just all the more reason to not let you lay a finger on Jenny. I'll raise her to be a much better daughter than you. You'll see.
Mom, please. I know that you're under a lot of stress right now, but we need to think about this calmly. Besides, it's not like being divorced means that you won't ever see any of us again. Please, I really think that we need to be putting Jenny first.
You keep saying that we should be doing this all for Jenny, but I think that you just want her for yourself. I'm not being the selfish one. You are. How dare you try and steal my own daughter away from me? If you really loved her, you wouldn't try and take her away from me. A girl needs her mother at this age, so you don't dare try and ruin my family anymore.
I get that you love Ginny, but I think that you're letting your emotions blind you. How about we just ask Ginny what she would prefer? Would that be okay?
Well, of course we can do that. And if Ginny said that she would want to go with her father, then that would be just fine. Anyways, I was going to tell Ginny about the divorce tonight and see what she thinks.
Mom, if you want to divorce Dad, then that is between you and him. But I think that you need to be very careful with how you deal with Ginny. I mean, you know how sensitive she can be. And I just know she's going to be crushed when she hears about the divorce.
I know that. I am her mother, after all. And of course, she should be sad. This is a sad thing. You're the one who's being way too calm about all of this. Don't you realize that this is your family that we're talking about here, too?
I get that, but things have been going downhill for a while, and I knew this was coming. So I guess I just had a bit more time to prepare for this is all. Besides, I'm not a little kid anymore.
Oh yeah, of course. You're such a mature adult still in high school, aren't you? You really are just like your father.
Hey, Mom, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I was cleaning around the house and I think I found your ring. You told me that you'd been looking for this for a while, right?
You mean the one that's from your grandma? Is that the ring that you're talking about?
I don't really know about that, but I think it's a ruby on the ring. Either way, the rock on the ring is red, and I remember you saying that you were looking for that.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one I've been looking for all over. So you just found it cleaning around the house? I must have dropped it somewhere, but thank you so much for finding it.
Well, if you want, I can go ahead and send it to you. But if you're worried about it getting damaged, I can just hand deliver it.
No, I don't think that there's any need for you to go and do that. Besides, I'd be at home with my new husband, so better for you not to come.
Hold on a second, you're with your new husband? You're already remarried? But you and Dad have only been divorced for like 6 months.
Don't go and get your panties in a twist. I'll have you know that I wasn't dating this guy until after your father and I were apart.
That's not really the part that I'm worried about with this, Mom.
Well, anyways, I just know that my new husband would be really mad at me if he knew my eldest daughter had visited here. So don't think that you're ever going to meet him because he's not interested. Go ahead and just mail the ring. Don't bring it over.
Right. Okay, I guess I can do that. Is Ginny okay then?
What do you mean? Why are you asking about her all of a sudden?
Well, it's just that I'm worried about her, and I just want to make sure that she's adjusting to everything okay. After all, it's just you two living with each other now. And since you have a new husband, I just hope that she's doing okay.
There's nothing to be worried about at all, Sarah. If you must know, Ginny and my new husband Brent get along just fine. He's practically like a father to her already.
Well, I certainly hope that's the case. But this is just all a little unexpected. I guess Ginny's grown up a lot in these past 6 months, huh?
Exactly. So it's like I said, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to your little sister. The three of us are doing just fine. You may even be surprised to hear that we're not even having any money troubles, so there.
Well, I guess that's all really good news then. I am happy and surprised to hear all of that. And congratulations on your wedding, Mom. I hope that you and Brent are happy. I'm glad that it sounds like he and Jenny get along so well.
If anything, I'm the one that's worried about you. After all, with you and your dads having the personalities that you do, well, has the house burned down yet?
I really don't think things are going to get that bad for us. But things are pretty normal for us here. Nothing too crazy going on.
Is your dad taking care of you? Are you leaving the house to do fun things at least?
I mean, he and I will go shopping for groceries and stuff like that. But no, we haven't actually gone out and done anything like an amusement park or anything.
I knew it. It's just as I feared. That's why I couldn't stand to leave Ginny there. She would have been bored out of her mind. But at least here she has every form of entertainment that you can think of. Sarah? Are you there? Please, answer me. I'm so hungry.
Oh my gosh, Ginny! It's been so long! And if you're hungry, then why don't you go and get yourself something to eat, silly?
I haven't eaten in a long time. I'm starving, Sarah.
Hey, Jenny, hold on a second. You're starting to worry me here. Hasn't Mom been making you anything to eat? Ask her to feed you.
I can't do that. She isn't even at home. Mom hasn't been home in a long, long time.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that? Why isn't Mom at home? Are you at home right now? Are you there with anyone at all?
I'm not at home, but I was told that this isn't my home.
What do you mean? Who told you that? Who would say that to you?
It's my new dad, Brent. He told me that I'm not allowed to be at home anymore.
But then, Jenny, where are you right now if you're not at home?
I'm in the shed. I'm in the shed behind the house in the lawn.
I don't believe this. Is this some kind of joke? Am I being punked right now or something?
It's not a joke, Sarah. I'm really in the shed, and I'm so hungry.
Well, what about Mom? Where is she right now? Why isn't she helping you out?
Because Mom told me that I have to do every little thing that Brent tells me to do. So I don't want to ask for help since he put me out here.
Hold on, is Mom even there? Why isn't she taking care of you? Where is Mom right now?
She's with Brent, and they're both out traveling right now.
Wait just a second. You're telling me that our Mom and Brent are out traveling right now? And that they've left you out in the shed in the yard and that you're there all alone?
That's right. Brent said that I wasn't allowed in the house because I'm a bad girl.
I don't know what to say at all. This is just horrible. What in the world is Mom thinking? And you haven't eaten a meal in a long time? Is that what you're telling me?
The last time that I ate was a couple of days ago.
And what about at school? Are you at least getting fed meals by the school?
I haven't been going to school. Everyone says that I'm smelly there anyways, so I decided that I don't want to go to school anymore.
What do you mean? Why in the world are the kids there saying that you're stinky?
It's because I haven't had a bath in forever. I stink, and I know it. But so does everyone else, and they always tell me.
Wait, what? Jenny, oh my goodness, I had no idea at all. That's just horrible.
Brent told me that he wasn't going to waste having to pay more for water just so that I could take a bath.
What kind of sicko is this guy? Who doesn't let a child take a bath?
Please, Sarah, you have to believe me. I'm not really a bad girl. It's not true at all.
I know that it's not true, sis. You're a good girl, and I've really missed you. You just wait right there. I'm gonna go and pick you up and put an end to all of this. We're going to get you cleaned up and fed, and everything is going to be okay, all right?
I want to go back home. I want to be with you and Dad. I hate this place. It's so horrible.
I know, it sounds just terrible, but don't worry. We're going to get you out of there. I still don't understand why you even ended up going with Mom. After all, I thought that you told Mom you wanted to go with me.
I did. I told her that. I said that I wanted to be with Sarah when she asked who I wanted to be with.
So then, you didn't tell Mom that you wanted to go and live with her, is that right?
That's right, and I still want to live with you and Dad. I told that to Mom again, and she got really mad. And that's why Brett said that I was a bad girl.
So then you wanted to come and live with Dad and I from the very start. I don't believe this. How could she lie like that? Well, you just wait right there. I'm going to pick you up and get you out of there, and you'll finally be coming home.
Hey, Jenny? Where the heck did you go, huh? I thought we told you to wait at the house until we got back. You knew that we were getting back today, didn't you? Do you want to spend even more time in the shed?
If you're looking for Jenny, you should know that she's in the hospital right now. But please, do go on about the shed, Mom.
Wait a second. Is this Jenny?
No, it isn't. It's your other daughter, Zara.
Wait, what? Why in the world are you texting me from Jenny's number? What the heck is going on here? This is Jenny's number, isn't it?
Yes, it is Jenny's number. And if you want to know how I'm texting you from it, it's because I'm here with her right now. And you You have put my poor little sister through hell. Do you know that? How could you do this to your own daughter? You left her outside and told her to sleep in the shed until you and your husband got back from a trip. You lied to me and told me that you were taking good care of her.
Just tell me where my daughter is. Where did you take her? Give her back to me right now.
You really think that I'd ever give her back to you? I'm going to protect her from you. You're never getting her back.
I'm your mother, and I demand that you return her to me right now. She is just a child. You can't just kidnap her.
You're right, she is just a kid, and that's why I'm stepping in as an adult to help her now. I've already told Dad, and he rushed his way back here.
Hold on a second. You mean that you told your father about what was happening with Ginny?
Of course I told Dad what was going on, Mom, and when he saw the state that she was in, he was almost in tears. Were you making her live like this for the entire 6 months? We're going to report all of this to Child Protective Services.
Hold on a second. We don't need to go and get any kind of authorities involved here. Let's not get carried away here.
You do realize what you did to Ginny is a crime, don't you? And that's to say nothing of all the bruises that were on her body. What did you do to my sister? Why would you treat her this way?
I have no idea what you're talking about. She's still just a little girl. She probably just fell over while playing or something.
No, I think she got these bruises from some cruel monster hitting her. And the doctors at the hospital seem to agree as well. So you better believe that we're going to get CPS involved. I'm surprised that you haven't heard anything from them yet.
But I mean... Look, you can't just do this to me. Give me my daughter back right now.
I told you that it's not going to happen. In fact, Ginny told me that when you and Dad split up, that she told you she wanted to go with Dad and I. You lied to me and said that you would ask her where she wanted to go. And you lied to her by telling her that she had a choice. Well, Dad and I are going to rescue her from you. You're not raising her for another day.
How dare you talk to your own mother this way? Just who do you think you are, huh? What gives you the right to act this way?
You're no mother of mine. Here I thought that Ginny would at least be safe with you, but I shouldn't have even trusted you that far. You only did this to save your own pride. You couldn't stand the fact that Dad could provide for us, and that you couldn't, and you ended up hurting Ginny.
I knew that you were going to be trouble. The moment that I started to sense more of your dad than I did myself, I knew that you were going to be nothing but trouble.
I am glad that I'm more like Dad. At least he would never abuse his children like this, all to protect his fragile ego. He's nothing like you, and that's a good thing. I just hope that you're ready to face the full consequences of what you've done here. After finding out the horrible treatment that my mom and her new husband had been showing Ginny, I knew that we had to get her out of that house somehow. My dad came straight from work to get me and take me to Mom's house to save Ginny. When Ginny was finally able to leave the hospital, she told the police all about the horrible things that she'd been put through. It was more than enough to convince a jury that my mom and Brent needed to be put away for a long time. They were forced to pay a huge fine, which we used to move to a new city where the two of them could never find us, even if they did get let out. Ginny is seeing a therapist, but I think being at home with Dad and I is doing wonders for her. She's slowly starting to return to her old self. I made the mistake once to let Ginny be taken by someone else, but I am not ever going to let anything like that happen to my little sister again. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Betty, it's been so long, hasn't it? I have some huge news to share with you, but is now a good time to talk? No, it is never a good time to talk with you, Angela. You know, I still get angry even just having to be reminded that you exist, so if you don't mind, I'd really rather not have this conversation at all. Wait, what? Now hold on for just 1 second there. I mean, you haven't heard from me in years, and this is the way that you choose to greet me? Don't you think you're being just a little mean? Are you telling me that you've already forgotten what you did to me? I thought we were friends, or at least friendly, and you stabbed me in the back. You have really got some nerve coming to me asking if I want to catch up about your life. Oh, but that was already 2 years ago. You really have got to get over these things, Betty. I mean, what is there even left to be mad about? It all happened so long ago. Well, I don't care how long ago it happened. I am never, ever going to forgive you for what you did to me. I mean, our daughters used to be friends at preschool. I thought that we got along too. You were always someone I felt like I could trust. But then you had to go and steal my husband away from me. Surely you can't still be hung up over all that, right? I mean, I know I probably shouldn't have done what I did, but it's not like you can really blame me for going after something that I wanted, right? That isn't true, though. You were always trying to go after my husband, and you know it. You were probably just pretending to be friends with me, too. Also, you could get to Dave. In fact, you even said as much to me before, don't you remember? Right, but what I'm saying is that Dave was a serious catch. If you don't think there were going to be women out there interested in making him theirs, then that's on you. Besides, I was a single mother. You have no idea just how tough I had it. And then when I met Dave and found out this handsome man also had a good-paying job, well, what was a woman to do? So yeah, I was trying to steal him away from you for a while, but it worked, didn't it? I knew talking to you like this was a bad idea. Just reading these messages is already making my blood boil. But anyways, Dave is your husband now, and I don't see why I should have to know anything about your lives. So if you'll excuse me, I really must be going now. But wait, you can't leave yet. I haven't even gotten to talk to you about my big news. You see, the thing is that yesterday, Dave passed away. So anyways, I just wanted to let you know that I'm a single mother once again. Wait, are you serious? Dave is dead? Yeah, he had been complaining about some kind of chest pains for a while, but then he was also complaining about always being too busy with work to go and see a doctor. And then yesterday, he just collapsed at work and never got up. It sounds to me like he had a stroke. I see. Well, thank you for sharing that information with me. I really had no idea that Dave was gone. I guess this means that I'll have to break the news to little Julia then. He really was taken from this world too soon. Like, couldn't he have waited just a little longer? Can you believe that we were only married 2 years before he kicked the bucket? You know, I have a lot of things I want to say to you, but for now, just know that I really am sorry for your loss. I hope that wherever he is, Dave is in a better place now. Thank you for those kind words, Betty. But you really don't need to waste any time worrying about me, you know. I may be single again, but I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm going to move on with my life. And it also helps that I get everything in Dave's will, too. I'm sure that all that money will help me in recovering from my tragic loss. Wait, what do you mean? Dave left you money in his will? That's right. I really just can't believe he's gone. I mean, I was just starting to really enjoy the life of being a wife of a CEO. But now that he's gone, I guess that just means that I'll have to have enough fun for the both of us. Well, I'll try and avoid speaking ill of the dead. But if you have to give him credit for anything, Dave knew how to run a business. Not only that, but he was never once late with a child support payment. But I guess he must have also set something aside for you as well. Oh yes, he did. And I was going to take that money, go to South Korea, and get plastic surgery. Then I'm going to be the hottest widow on the market, and it is going to make finding a new man to sweep me off my feet that much easier. Oh man, maybe things will finally go well for me. Wait a second, Angela. Don't you think that you're being just a little disrespectful right now? What are you talking about? In what way am I being disrespectful? Well, I mean that you're bragging about the money you're going to inherit from Dave, and not only that, but you said you were going to use it to find a new husband. Don't you think there should be a longer mourning period or something for him? I don't really see how the amount of time I spent mourning is going to make any other man want me more. If anything, it'll just make me look like some depressed widow who is too sad to remarry, and I really don't think that's what Dave would have wanted for me. I'm not saying that you don't deserve to be happy in your life, but the funeral hasn't even happened yet, right? Should you really even be thinking about the inheritance this early after he's gone? I knew it! I knew that you were just jealous of how much money I was going to be getting, but anyways, now you know what's happening.
Hello, is this Betty? We met once before, but I'm not sure if you remember me. I'm Thomas, Angela's son.
Oh, Thomas, of course I remember you. You were just a bit older than Julia in elementary school, weren't you? I just wanted to say that I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I'm not sure how close you and Dave managed to get before he passed, but I'm sure this is hitting you quite hard.
I didn't think of Dave as my dad at all. In fact, to me, he was always just Julia's dad that my mom managed to steal from your family. But I could never live with the feeling of stealing Julia's dad.
Thomas, I had no idea that you felt this way about the whole situation.
Well, I actually am messaging you today because I have a few things that I want to talk to you about. For example, do you know how to have a funeral? I've tried looking up things online, but I feel like it just made me more confused than anything else.
Wait, what? Why on earth are you looking up something like that?
Well, my mom said that she didn't have time to deal with Dave's funeral, so she told me to handle it all. So I guess that means that I'm in charge of organizing it and stuff.
You have got to be kidding me. Did your mom really say that?
Yeah, I mean, my mom is back to being a single mother. We don't really talk to any of our relatives. Especially not after she had her affair with Dave. That was the last straw for a lot of people. But anyways, that's bad for me because it means that I don't have anyone to ask.
But wait a minute. Where is your mom right now, Thomas? I mean, why in the world would she leave arranging the entire funeral up to you?
Well, my mom is actually out of the country on vacation right now. She told me that she just found out that the check for Dave's money just cleared and that she was off to spend it.
She's away on a vacation right now? So not only is she not going to be at Dave's funeral, but the reason she won't is because she's traveling?
Betty, I just want you to know how sorry I am that you've had to deal with my mom's antics. I really am always trying to stop her from acting this way, but anytime I say anything to her, it's like talking to a brick wall. She doesn't listen to anything I have to say. And this morning when I woke up, she was gone.
Thomas, please, you do not have to apologize to me for what your mom does. In fact, I'm glad that you reached out to talk to me about all of this. I'm very proud of how maturely you've been acting about all this. As for the funeral, that isn't something a child should have to plan. You can leave it all to me.
You mean it? You really want to help plan your ex-husband's funeral? Even after he left you and Julia for my mom? I don't know what to say. All this time I thought that I should have had to plan the funeral as a kind of punishment.
You don't deserve to be punished for anything, Thomas. You haven't done anything wrong. You're a very sweet and kind boy, but this is something the grown-ups should have to deal with. But what I want to know is, if your mom is away on her trip, are you okay? Do you have enough food in the house for yourself?
Kind of. I've been eating a lot of frozen meals that I'm getting from the store, but I'm pretty used to it after all this time.
All this time? What do you mean by that, Thomas?
Well, I just mean that my mom never cooks for me to begin with, so ever since I was little, I've always been eating prepared stuff from the store. But when my mom married Dave, she told him to give me more money to buy food, so I was actually given a budget of about $20 a meal.
And Dave really had no problem with you never eating a home-cooked meal at all?
I don't know whether or not he minded, but he was always too busy with work to do anything. I mean, we would eat out together at restaurants from time to time, but that was it, really.
So neither Dave nor your mom ever cooked a meal for you themselves? I don't get it. Don't they understand how important this time of your life is for growth? Thomas, I want you to come over to my house right away. You are welcome to stay here until all the funeral business is done with.
Wait, what? You can't really be serious about that, right?
Of course I'm serious. Besides, Julia is always talking about wanting to see you. She hasn't seen you since Angela and Dave got married and you transferred schools. I think it's been at least 10 years since you last saw each other.
But there's no way that I could ever face your daughter in person. I mean, my mom was the person who stole her father away from her mother. I'm the son of the woman who completely ruined her family.
But you didn't do anything, and you can't blame yourself for this. This is all on your mom, and you shouldn't feel any responsibility for it at all. Now please, come over here and enjoy some real food. Honestly, someone your age shouldn't be having to deal with all of this. It's just tragic.
Betty, thank you so much.
Of course, but I just wonder if you haven't already forgotten where I live. Anyways, I'll think of something special to cook for dinner tonight, so you hurry on over here. I heard that you stepped in for my son and ended up organizing the whole of Dave's funeral. Even to the end, I guess you never really were over him, were you? Why else would you step up and take over for Thomas like that? You have got some nerve asking me that. Why in the world was it up to your son to hold the funeral anyways? I mean, he is barely a teenager. There is no way he would have been able to do all that by himself. Honestly, what in the world is the matter with you? Didn't you feel a need to pay your respects to Dave at all? What more do I need to respect him for when I have all of his money? You really are a rather sentimental person, do you know that? And just what is that supposed to mean? I mean that you did all of this for Dave when you two aren't even married anymore. I certainly hope that you didn't hope to get anything from me by doing this. Because if you think that I'm going to share a penny of what Dave left me, then you are very, very wrong. Oh, please, do you really think that that's why I stepped in to help your son? I am really getting sick of all your wild delusions, Angela. Here I thought that you would have wanted to show some kind of emotion to Dave's memory, but instead I'm the one having to host the funeral all by myself. There you go, trying to guilt me into giving you something. I knew you would try this. But unfortunately for you, it isn't going to work. I've already told you that you aren't going to see a single penny. Dave's inheritance is all mine. So don't bother trying to kiss up to me. It won't work. You do know that Dave and I never actually got a divorce, right? And just what is that supposed to mean? I mean that had we actually been divorced, then you would have the rights to his will. But the fact is that Dave and I never finalized the divorce, so we were just separated. But legally, we were still married. So basically, I have a much stronger claim to his estate than you do. What in the world are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Dave and I were married for 2 whole years before he died. That's the reason why I stole him from you. Besides, I know for a fact that we signed the wedding documents and everything. But did you actually see Dave ever take them to the courthouse for processing? Of course I didn't. Why would I both need to follow him all the way there? I signed the papers. That means we're married. It really is as simple as that. After we signed the documents, I left it all up to Dave to take care of. Well, then I think that Dave might have tricked you because you two were never married. You really have no idea what you're talking about. Do you know that? Oh, I'm afraid that I do, though. You see, I never forgave either of you for your affair. And one way that I got my revenge was by refusing to divorce Dave. It would have been so easy to just sign the papers and be done with it, but then I knew that that would make things even easier for him. I still carried around my grudge against you two, so I never ever signed any kind of divorce papers. You have got to be kidding me! I am not at all, and Dave knew he had no choice but to go along with it, since I could have taken away his visiting rights to see our daughter. I told him that if he and I get divorced, that he would never ever see his daughter again. You did what? But this doesn't make any sense. This is the first I'm hearing of any of this. Well, now you know that for the past 2 years, your so-called marriage to Dave was all a lie. But surely the courts would have seen that we were together. I'm afraid that it's not a matter of that at all. Dave's will lays out quite explicitly that his wife is to get everything. And that would mean that it all goes to me. It doesn't really say that, does it? Surely there's got to be a mistake here. My name has to be on that somewhere. There has to be a version around here with my name on it. Well, you said he died suddenly from a stroke, right? So what makes you think he would have even made something like that? I found Dave's will, and just as I thought, I am going to get a huge amount of money. You mean you found a new version of the will? That's right. He said that even though we weren't married, he wanted to leave me everything as a way of apologizing for lying to me. I see. Well, if the document is really real, then you have to go and get it notarized. That way it can be used legally, otherwise it would just look like you were trying to pass off a fake document as the real one. And that is a very serious crime. Wait, hold on, is that really true? You mean I can't just show them this document that I found this morning? But then, you have to at least give me something. Ah, so you mean you did forge that document? Please, I have a child. I need Dave's money to take care of him.
Oh, don't worry about me, Mom. Betty already said that she was going to pay for my college. I'm glad that you got back home from your trip there. Betty was so worried about me when she heard that you were gone. She took me in for a few days.
Wait a second. Is this Thomas? What are you talking about? You're with Betty right now, and what do you mean she's going to pay for your schooling?
I mean that she is going to be more of a mother to me than you ever were. She already has been in just a short time that I've been here. We've been talking, and she told me that if I managed to get into a college, that she would pay for all 4 years of my tuition.
But that isn't fair. What do I get there?
I don't care what you get, Mom. I was talking with Julia, and she was so excited that we're going to go to college together.
Thomas, you can't trust someone like Betty. She's going to charge you interest. She's going to try and trap you with debt.
No, she said she was going to do all this for free. Betty told me I won't owe her a penny, ever. And so, I really don't need or want you in my life anymore, Mom. I think I'm old enough to take care of myself. And after all, I've been doing it already for years now.
How dare you talk to your mother that way? What is the matter with you?
Is that really the last thing you wanted to say to me as my mom?
No, wait, don't go. I'm sorry. Please, you have to talk to Betty and convince her to share some of that money with me. I need it.
I see. Well, if that's all you need me for, I think I'm going to be going now. Have a nice life, Mom. Don't reach out to talk to me ever again.
Wait, no, Thomas, come back. Please, you can't just leave me like this. I'm your mother. Can't you see that I really need help right now? Please, you have to come back. Thomas! After that, I talked with Thomas and agreed to let him live with Julia and I. He really is a brilliant kid, and he excelled in all of his classes. By the time he finished school, he was valedictorian and even gave a speech to all of his classmates. Julia and I support him through the college application process. By the time he heard back from all the schools he applied to, he had 5 different full-ride offers to choose from. I continued to get harassing messages from Angela begging for money. She even hired a lawyer and tried to sue me. But she quickly burned through what little money she had left doing that, and it got her nowhere. Now that Thomas is in school, he tells me that he swears to pay me back one day. And I tell him that he has nothing to worry about at all.